Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? What's up? So, today we're going to talk about why you can't build muscle as a vegan. You probably heard it so many times already, right? You can't build no muscle as a vegan. How could you, right? How can there be protein from vegetables and fruits? Like, how could there? It's impossible to get a lot of protein and build so much mass, right? Just eating vegetables. Like, how can you get protein from that? It's literally impossible, right? That's what they want you to think. They want you to think like this because people that comes around and say these type of things has two agendas. Number one, they're trying to push their own personal agenda to continue to eat meat. Number two, they're not nutritionists. All right. They don't understand nutritional science at all. You know what I'm saying? It almost feels like even if they're using MyFitnessPal, they might call it crap, it's shit, don't use it, nutritional facts are lies. But the reality is that they're not tracking the vegetables that they're eating. They're only tracking foods that obviously has a high protein intake, which is going to be like chicken breast, fish, eggs, you know, animal byproducts. I mean, that's the only thing they're tracking. They're just tracking how much they're actually consuming. And then when it comes to vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes, they're disregarding those foods. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can kind of see where this trend is going to. It's like it's too much work to track all the food groups. It's too much work to learn about nutritional value when it comes to different types of food. So let's simplify it the best way possible and only eat one single ingredient food, which is animal meat, and that's it. And you can get all the protein you need. And the reality is this: by dumbifying yourself to go down a more simplistic road is only hurting you in the future. Okay, that's all it's doing. It's hurting you because you rather stay stupid versus learning. And this is why a lot of people who on a vegan diet and fails the vegan diet is because they're I want to be honest with you. They're cheap. They don't want to spend no type of money into continuing education to inform themselves. And number two, they're too lazy to learn. Okay, they want to simplify it to like the single denominator, if that makes sense. That's it. Why you think when it comes to weight loss, Ozempic, Monjaro is like a rise. I'm not saying that people who's overweight and just needs like that good push start into a health and fitness journey is bad. I'm not saying that. I think that's good. You know, yeah, if I was 300 pounds and it's hard to move, everything hurts. Yeah, I would like to take a drug that's going to help speed things up because it will help motivate me to move again. I think that's totally fine. But what we're seeing these days are people are abusing these drugs for weight loss because of what? Pure laziness. It's easy. You know, it's easier to spend money, right, to get what you want versus learning. Think about it. Let that sink in. Is that you? Are you struggling right now because you're always trying to pay for everything versus spending some time by yourself to sit down and learn? This is why I created my course. Okay? This is why I do what I do because I've spent a lot of time and money learning. I learned, you can see all the books back there. I've read all those books. I have more books on audio books. All right. I listen to a lot of books from creditable doctors. I've been to school, you know. But the difference is that I have a passion, so I just enjoy it. I enjoy what I learned. Okay, but some people don't enjoy, and I feel it's only because, and I get it. I could come from, I get where other people are coming from. Like, they already spent, maybe 2 4 years, 8 years in school learning about a lot of other things. And, we all taken those prerequisites for health and nutrition. We all been there. I've been there too. I've been in school. You know how many times in grade school I learned about nutrition and still didn't understand nutrition? So I feel that's where America is right now. Like, we spent so much time in school already learning about food and nutrition, the pyramid, or the my plate, and now we got social media where we can throw in 1 minute clips, right, to try gives ourselves a quick learning high, and then after that, we after that, what we do is we're like, all right, I'm done. I don't want to sit down and learn. But the reason I created my course is because I've taken all the knowledge and all the time and condensed it. All right, I condensed it in a way, not in a 1 minute. I mean, I put out social media posts all the time, but I created this course called a Vegan Academy, where I condensed everything, where you could learn and actually see results in real time. Okay, and the best way of learning, because I was in the military for 8 years, so one of my side jobs was being a military instructor, not a drill instructor. I wasn't yelling at people and like, no, not wearing the VI hat. Nah, I wasn't doing that. I was teaching about a lot of different things, war tactics, hygiene, first aid, combat, what is it called? Convoy strategies, whole bunch of stuff. And the thing is that what I learned from being an instructor, there's a particular way when it comes to educating people, especially fast. Because in the military, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, like, true story. When I went to the military, and this is something I never really said before in the past, but one of the reasons why, it's not the main reason, but one of the reasons why I joined the military is because after high school was a little difficult for me. I got my high school diploma, but the learning was a little bit difficult in my last years, especially when it came down to English and math. Okay. And when it came down to that, just for an example, when it came down for math, they had to split up my high school algebra into 2 years and then geometry into 2 years, right? And this is for like the stupid people, right? People who don't get it. Well, I have friends who's going through algebra 1 year, next year geometry, other year what is it called? Trigonometry, another year something else, some other crazy shit, right? And my dumb ass had to take algebra twice just to pass algebra once, and then geometry twice. It's like geometry 1, geometry 2, algebra 1A, algebra 1B, like that. And that kind of affected me because I always thought, I was like, man, I'm stupid, So I felt that going to like college was a little intimidating for me. All right, because I was like, man, if high school was this hard, and I passed with a 3.0, I believe I passed with a 3.0, but like GPA, but those classes was so tough, and I just felt like I was dumbed down, that I was just like, man, like, if it was this hard in high school, like, how can I even go through college? College might be even more difficult. So I was a little intimidated. All right. And so that was one of the reasons I joined the military, because I was like, well, this is more practical, it's more hands-on, like, let's go. Like, it can't be that difficult. A lot of people told me like it's more physical, because I was in the junior ROTC in high school as well. And it was more hands-on. The education that they taught was easy, learning about shooting guns, land navigation, like cool things, And so I was just like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm smart in things that I enjoy and dumb in things when it comes to arithmetic and, things that's just boring. So to make a long story short, when I joined the military, what I didn't realize is that military learning is way harder than high school because everything's slam packed. Like they're trying to jam in years and years and years of history, war tactics, like to build you like a killing machine, not just a killer, a killing machine. Like you need to be smart, okay? You need to be smart in the Marine Corps, and they invest about in the beginning, the first 4 years, they invest about 250 up to $400,000 worth of education and training so you can be elite. Imagine that, all right? But at the time, I didn't know that. And the education curve is so fast. Everything's speed, 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 speed. If you mess up, they haze you, right? They do a lot of physical exercises, push-ups, crunches, jumping jacks, they're yelling in your face. It's very stressful, right? And what ended up happening, to make a long story short, because this is about like taking your time to learn, right? But to make a long story short, when I was in the Navy Reserves after war, after Marine Corps, in the Navy Reserves, one of my friends, his name's Jones, right? We were good. We're still good friends, right? He was like, bro, when are you going to go to school? When are you going to go back to school and get your degree? Because you sacrificed so much for the military. When are you going to go back and get and do something for yourself, right? And I was just like, I don't know, and I told him the same story I'm sharing with you. And he told me, bro, you were in the Marines and you went to war and you're an instructor of all things right now, right? He's like, don't be intimidated by high school and learning. He's like, you were in stressful situations and you know how much education you learn and how you were able to advance your rank. Like being in military is one of the toughest ways to jam pack information. Like your brain works a lot differently than a regular person. Like you're able to, it's a sponge. You're able to soak up information quick, right? And he's right, because even when I listen to ebooks, I have it like at 1.5 two times speed, and I'm just like listening to it. And I'm retaining majority of the information while I'm listening to it. I don't put it on one. I don't put on normal speed. I have it at 1.5 two times the speed, and it's just like just jamming it, right? So when he said that to me, I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, for real, man. He's like, the problem with your school, especially in Florida schools, is that it's your instructors. They don't know how to teach. He's like, that's the problem. They don't know how to teach. They don't know how to simplify things. All they're doing is reading from a book and using big words to make you confused. That's it. And he's like, when you go to college, I don't know if this still exists, but back in my days, we used Rate My Professor. He's like, yo, use Rate My Professor. Find a professor no lower than a 4-star, and watch, you're going to pass all your grades. And that's what I did. And I realized I'm actually smart. I'm not that dumb. so then, and because listen to this, even with college algebra, one time got a B, got a B plus in it, and I was one of the first people who passed my final exam. I was just like, it was easy, right? But that's just giving you an example. So because of this, and because of what I've went through, when it comes to my course, going back to my course, I teach it in a way where people are able to get it fast, because you're not just learning from just reading things. I'm not just saying like read the same books that I read. I do suggest them, but I break it down simplistically so anyone can understand it. Also, I have you do it practical so you're able to do it as well. Okay. And when you're doing it practically, you're reading and you're watching, right? You're able to pick things up 10 times faster. Okay. And that's what I do. So when it comes to, going back to building muscle, you have to understand nutritional science to learn how to get the protein. Now, when it comes to protein sources, we have to kind of think about this. What are some of the proteins that's similar to animal meat, right? Because protein is in all plant-based foods, but what are the highest sources? So the highest sources is going to be tofu, tempeh, seitan, protein shakes, and also mock meats. These are top sources of protein. Okay. Nothing can beat those. So, for example, one block of tofu, extra firm tofu, you're going to get somewhere around 50 to 85 grams of protein from a whole block. Okay. Seitan, a package of seitan, like I always show it all the time, like the Upton seitan, that whole package has about 68 grams of protein. Okay. Mock meats usually runs around 40 to like 50 grams of protein, depending what it is. Like if it's Impossible, Beyond, Daring, Abbott's, and that ranges from, different styles, because you have things that's, somewhat, I don't even like saying highly processed, because especially like with Beyond and Impossible, because that's a big stigma these days. And Impossible and Beyond, and vegans too, like vegans think it's so highly processed, they don't even read the damn packages anymore. But Beyond and Impossible has improved the ingredients. They have made it using more real ingredients. They're actually incorporating some organic ingredients in there as well. Like it's getting better. It's not the same as they first came out. It's getting a lot better. So Beyond and Impossible, and that's why I'm a big fan. I'm more of a big fan of Beyond, actually. Beyond has done so much better with their mock meats, and it's getting cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. Like even now, like with the Beyond Steak, for example, that's very high in protein. That's something that you could have every day. It's coming into my grocery list. It's coming into my meal plans because it's so clean. It's undisputable. It's so clean. I'm just reading the ingredients. Something that people don't like to do. Just take a few seconds. They like listening to Instagram, and that's it. You know what I mean? But this is true. And then you have your protein powders, right? Like there's a lot of vegan protein powders out there. And the ones that I like to get is somewhere around 20 to 30 grams, which is going to be more of your sport types of proteins. So this is very high. Then to get now, the thing that people really mix up, especially people who's not familiar of a plant-based diet, is that they feel that they have to get all their protein from mock meats, tofu, seitan, and protein shakes. And this is not true. Okay. Because again, people who eat an animal-based diet or a SAD diet, which is the standard American diet, they're not counting. Remember what I said in the beginning? They're not counting vitamins. They're not counting the vitamins, minerals, or the macros for like rice, sweet potatoes, nuts, seeds, fruits, and vegetables. And you remember what I said? These plant-based foods has protein in it. So if you combine plant-based foods with your diet, you're going to get all the protein you actually need. For example, I get about 200 grams of protein per day. I'm able to build muscle. I'm 100% natural. I don't care if you believe it or not, but I am. I have the rewards behind me that states that I'm natural. I have tons of natural bodybuilding tests. I'm a 3-time pro in 3 natural bodybuilding drug testing organizations. All right. And also, I've won multiple bodybuilding shows within the NPC IFBB League as well. I'm not a pro in that yet. There's a reason why. If I was on shit, right? If I was on the sauce, I would have been had my IFBB Pro card. And it was either that or just downgrade and do physique, right? If I went to physique, I know I could have already had it, but I never liked physique. I always loved bodybuilding and doing classic physique, and that's really the only reason why I never got it, because it's extremely hard as a natural. And people who's been following me for a very long time knows it. They know I'm natural because they see like I don't hide nothing. I put the pictures out when I compete, and they see the guys I'm going against. They're jacked, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I have good genetics, so I would be huge if I'm on shit. You'll know, because like you're just going to see a whole different Corinne. You're going to see a whole different Corinne. Corinne is going to be like monstrous for sure, but that's something that when it comes down to it. So with that said, let's go ahead and go through some questions. I know a lot of people are commenting right now. So we got Black Rock Ronan. He's been on the screen from the beginning, but he said, "Why is there so much hate for soy? I'm 25 and working out since 2023. Never felt the best until I started eating tofu, fruit smoothies every day. Tofu gave me so much energy and it tastes like beef." The reason people have a lot of hate on soy because it's just they don't understand it. They don't understand it. They never ate it before. It's fear. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's coming from a fear base. That's where we're stemming from. That's it. It's just fear. So because listen, I've been there. I've been on the other side of the fence, if you know what I mean. I've been there because I remember one time I went to the GNC. I wanted to get soy protein powder just because it was cheaper. But I realized it was very high in protein. I was like, man, and this was in high school. I was like, damn, this soy protein is very high in protein and it's cheaper than the GNC whey. And you know what the guy told me? Oh, it would grow. Oh, soy has tons of estrogen in it and it's going to make you grow man boobs. This is only for women. That's what he stated. Now, listen, that soy protein was never in the women's section. It was just in the protein section. And why? He was told lies. And people who works at GNC, if you don't know now, they have an agenda to sell their own product. And you'll notice that they'll only try to push their own products because the guys who works there only get commission selling GNC products. I believe so. You know, I don't know if that's 100% facts, but from the last time I heard that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. And this negative message has spread all across the internet, and it's something that people like to push, again, to push a meat agenda, right? Now, remind you, people who are scared to eat soy never ate soy in their life. They never had tofu in their life because I was there. You know, when I used to eat meat, I was there. Like I never had soy, never ate tofu in my whole entire life, but I always had that in my head until I learned the truth and actually looked up the actual studies, which again, people lack to do. People lack to take their own time and patience to do their own research and look it up. All it takes is other people who say that they're doctors, nutritionists, dietitians to twist up words or maybe cherry pick studies to make people feel and believe in them because they already have the credentials. You know what I'm saying? So it's like me. I have credentials. So if I wanted to lie or twist the truth a little bit, people will believe me because I already did the credentials. But the thing is that what people fail to realize is that people have a particular agenda and a bias that they want to push. Also, at the same time, they know what gets views and clicks. Okay, so that's the reason why, because more people feed more into negativity than positivity. That's the real world that we live in. Think about it. When you watch the news, is it talking about firemen who helped the old lady cross the street for saving a cat, or about a plane that's crashing? What gets more views? The plane that fucking crashed, not the fireman that saved the kitty cat. See what I'm saying? More people is going to talk about that plane crashing versus the fireman who saved the kitty. or the policeman who helped the old lady walk across the street. Get it? That's the truth, man. All right, let's see. That's the problem. I love soy, but Dr. Greger says it's estrogenic. Dr. Rogers, not Dr. Rogers says oestrogenic. Oestrogenic. I don't think phytoestrogens. I don't even know. I never heard oestrogenic before. See, now we're getting new terms. You know what I'm saying? So we already discussed that. And then it says supposedly lowers T levels. That's not true. It's just not true. I eat tofu every single day, man. It doesn't lower T levels. You know what I'm saying? What lowered people's T levels is just improper sleep, being stressed out of your mind, maybe a very extremely low fat diet, you know, not eating properly. These what lowers test levels, you know, not a tofu, you know, not edamame beans. Okay, like that's what, because you have to understand what is tofu. Tofu is edamame beans. It's from the legume family, and there's a lot of foods that has phytoestrogens in it, so it's not going to lower your T. You know, like kind of think about it. Like, would someone sell something in a grocery store that's going to like literally like mess you up and lower your hormones? Nah, man. The food is, the medicine is in this grocery store. You know, the medicine's in the grocery store. It's on the outskirts of the grocery store. The healthiest foods is on the outskirts of the grocery store. And I'm vegan. And I'm telling you, like, there's even meat that is healthy. Like, you could eat meat and be healthy. Okay, I'm not even arguing that. I'm not going to sit here and say like, if you eat red meat, like it's going to give you cancer, literally like that. It's the overconsumption of it, you know, that does it. It's the overconsumption, especially the quality of the meat that you're eating, and doing that overconsumption. That's what's going to give you colon cancer. You know, even in the aisles, like the sugary drinks and all that stuff, it's overconsumption. You know, you can have sugary cereals, you can have a Coca-Cola. You know, you're not going to get diabetes by drinking a can of soda. Like, if that was the case, I would have been had diabetes. I used to drink all this crap. I used to drink Sprite, Coca-Cola, like all this stuff back in the days. Eat Oreos, eat cookies. And I still have my indulgences, right? The thing is that we have to get out of this black and white thing and realize it's more about, like, you could have everything you need, but in moderation. But moderation, like, this is what people don't understand. People don't know what moderation really means for them. You know, that's the problem. Let me close this. Come looking like a zebra. All right. So that's the problem. You know what I mean? But when it comes to soy lowering T levels, it doesn't work. All right. It doesn't happen. Yeah. Just like this person, like, exactly. Asia has been eating soy for thousands of years, and they are not feminists or trans or have man boobs. Exactly. See, Carrie knows what's up. It's like we're asking the wrong questions. We're asking questions to vegans like, but I heard tofu lowered soy, but we're not asking the right questions like, well, who eats soy the most in the world? If that's the case, oh, the East people in the East eat the most soy consumption. They're not having any issues with gyno. You know what their issue is? Longevity. People are dying in the ages of 80, 90, and 100s. All right. Like, there's more people that's in the hundreds in the East versus the West. People in the West, average age of death is like 60s and 70s, you know? And then and what you need to be asking is why, if you have a pension, why your pension in that age bracket, that high, why it's not when you're 40 and 50, you went after doing 20 years, especially after you did like 20 years of service in any type of job that has a pension, especially if you started young in your years. Why do you wait till you're like 67 or 70, 72, like these high age brackets? Because they're betting for you to die. That's why they don't want you. They don't want to pay you. Ask the right questions. People need to start using their noggin a little bit more. All right. Like, really starts doing some deep thinking. Like, why they wait? You know, come on, wake up. Y'all need to wake up. All right. Yeah, look, I eat tofu, drink soy milk daily, and my boobs are small. Yeah, and trust me, like if that was the case with the whole tofu and soy, trust me, like that would be the market that would be hot right now today, because people are throwing plastic all over the place. They're throwing silicone and plastic all in their boobs and their butt. Like if that was the case, I would be I wouldn't even be doing this. I would shut the hell up and I would be selling. I would just create a tofu company, a soy company, and just be slamming that in the market, especially for women. And I'll be like, hey, the boob grower, like the butt grower, drink this. It will boost up your estrogen so you can look more feminine. Makes sense? Like this is the thing that guys don't think about sometimes. It's like, come on, man. If that was the case, you more women will be eating that stuff than men. And we would have women looking more natural and more voluptuous because they're doing more foods that actually boosts up estrogen. Does that make sense? What really boosts up estrogen is the shit that men and women do all the time in this country, which we have a big problem. Drinking. That's what really boosts up estrogen levels. Think about that. Think about all the nightclubs that's out there. Think about all the football games, UFC fights. Who's the biggest sponsors there? Budweiser, Miller Lite, Heineken. That's what really boosts up estrogen levels. Look at the guys who drinks a lot. Look at their bodies versus the people who don't drink. Who looks more feminine when they take the shirt off? The alcoholic or the person who's sober and doesn't drink? Think, ask the right questions, yo. You know what I'm saying? Once a Marines, always a Marine. That's right. I struggle to enter Chronometer or my Fitness Pal. I don't know how much is a bowl of broccoli. Well, you want to use a scale and start using grams. Like that's the best way to learn how to use my Fitness Pal Chronometer is using grams. You don't want to use cups. All right. If you really want to understand nutrients and getting your calories and stuff, you have to do that. You measure out the foods. That if you're not measuring, it's very difficult. Let's see. Uriel said, "Hi, good afternoon. I'm 55 years old, 5'10", 220. Do you know the percentage of the macronutrients I can follow?" It really based on your goals. But looking at it, it looked like you probably aiming for fat loss. So what I would do would pretty much, to even just sum it up, really, like I would do 1,500 calories, right, and then do a ratio split of protein get your protein at 35% ratio of calories, carbs at 25%, and your fats at 40%. And then I would take your calories and break that down by percentage to get your grams, and you have your macros. That's what I would do. But when it comes, you technically asked just for the percent of macronutrients. So I would do that 30, 35, 25, 40. So 35% protein, 25% carbs, 40% fat, and then do 1,500 calories. If you do that, for sure you will lose body fat extremely fast. Trust me. Let's see. Said, "Hi, I'm a 5-year vegan. I really like the gym, but can't afford the membership. So I started calisthenics like 6 months ago, but I feel like I'm not gaining enough muscle." You need to eat more food. That's what it is. You need to eat more food. And, I'm not saying this to hurt you, but you need to, you need to focus. I think the first thing you need to do is focus on getting a better job so you can afford a membership. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm not making fun of you or anything. I'm being real. I think you need to focus on getting your money up so you can afford a membership. Because if you're trying to build more muscle, you need more money because you need to buy more food. You know what I'm saying? So like just to give you an example, so I'm not making fun of you. Like when I'm trying to cut money, like if I'm like tight with money, guess what I do? Do I go on a bulk or a cut? I go on a cut because on a cut it's a lot cheaper, man. I've done it. a lot, especially in my younger years. I've done it a lot. That's why I was doing so well in bodybuilding, especially the first couple of years when I started, because I was always in a deficit because I didn't have money for food. So I had money for the gym membership, and I had money to be in the deficit because I wasn't eating a lot, you know. So that's what I did, and I looked great, and and got me to where I need to be where I'm at today. Um, let's see. I am gaining 250 grams of lean mass, 50 grams of fat. I'm gaining. I'm not. I don't know, man, because that's way too hard to do. Let's see what other questions that we have. I feel like people just talking. Tofu and seitan in large quantities make you bloated. Is it just me, or is there anything I can do about that? I would definitely incorporate high fibrous foods to help break down those foods. Now, usually tofu shouldn't make you bloated unless you have some type of allergen. I mean, there could be many things. So I would say the first thing to do is maybe get yourself an allergy sensitivity test to see if you're allergic to soy and gluten. That could be the case. Number two, once you get that done, if you're cleared, then I would definitely try to build your diet a little bit more balanced. Make sure you're getting more high fibrous foods that can help with the aid of digestion. Because the thing with tofu doesn't really have that much fiber. Same thing with seitan. Seitan doesn't have a lot of fiber in it, so it shouldn't really cause any type of inflammation or bloating. But I would definitely look into that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. All right, so Carrie says 9.7 grams of protein per can of baked beans. You don't see. I don't know why you think they don't have protein. I don't know who you talking to. He said that. All right, so that's it with that. Let's check out Instagram real quick for some of the questions. Let's see what Instagram got to say. Alex Define says my coworkers tell me the same. Let me hide this. All right, let's see what Instagram got to say. It says my coworkers tell me the same thing. They don't believe I can build muscle without chicken and beef. Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? But the best way to do it is how I do it. Just show them, man. Sometimes talking isn't enough. You just have to show and tell. Because I always say this: people don't believe what they hear. People believe what they see. All right. So if you're not showing these guys, then they're never going to believe you. Because like with me, when I'm in the gym or people see me just walking around, they're literally asking me where I get my protein from. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really get that much pushback. The only type of pushback the most pushback I get is on social media, but that's just because a lot of people are trolls and they're just in a negative mindset. Like a lot of people are just like, they're there just to hate on people. You know what I'm saying? But in the real world, when people see me, they're just impressed and they want to learn. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Let's see what else. Vegetables and fruits are good and most used when training for muscle. Let's see. You said eggs have healthy cholesterol. Can't believe you said eggs have healthy cholesterol. It does. Like the thing is that like even though I'm vegan, what people don't understand is that I'm a nutritionist. So I'm not biased being vegan. Like there's vegans who's biased and they'll just sit there and talk shit all day about people who eat meat. And that's it. And that's because their feelings is intertwined with science. And when your feelings is intertwined with science, you're being biased on everything, right? So with that said, you can eat cholesterol and be healthy. Again, like I mentioned before, it's about the overconsumption. So you can have cholesterol And if you keep it at a particular range, and I could tell you the range, what it is, because it's on my fitness pal. If you use that, because Real Gorilla 21 said this, but like if you ever tracked his nutrients and paid attention to micros, like as long as you stay within 300 milligrams of cholesterol per day, you're good. All right, you're good. Like as long as you stay there, that's it. Do you need cholesterol? No, you don't need it. You know what I'm saying? You really don't need it. I don't eat cholesterol. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, because I don't have meat. But your body, your liver is going to create its own cholesterol for itself and compensate from that, so you stay at healthy levels. But again, like I mentioned before, you can eat meat and be healthy. That's the truth. All right. And sorry that y'all, some people can't handle the truth sometimes. Like even vegans can't handle it sometimes, unfortunately. But that's the reality. If you look at the Blue Zone studies, it didn't say in the studies that vegans live the longest lifestyle. It said people that live 90 to 95% a plant-based diet live a long time. You know, so if that makes sense, what is that 5 to 10%? It ain't air, you know, it's freaking meat. What else would it be? You know, so that's the reality. You know what I mean? It's just this is how it is. Now, like everyone has they're vegan for their own particular reasons for sure, but you can eat meat and be healthy. Like I mentioned, it's all about the quality and where and not over consuming. Uh, let's see. Yep, and that's it. All right, you guys. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. Talk to y'all soon. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to be coming on live every single day. All right, spending about good 15 minutes. I know I spent a little bit longer today, but that's totally cool. Just want to answer some of y'all questions. Kind of yesterday, a lot of people answered, and I just had to go. But hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.